So today's session, I'm going to concentrate mainly on the developing researchers, especially on the research scholars, because right now research scholars are not much known about the knowledge about the academic social media, how it is helpful for us to enhance our work, to make it visible much more, our research work to make it visible much more. So let us see what kind of role academic social media is playing. So I will start sharing my screen. So is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So today we are going to see unlocking the potential of academic social media for scholars and researchers. So this is going to be a session that embraces academic social media for career and research advancement. So the agenda of today's webinar is going to be, first we are going to see what are the academic platforms, the various academic social media platforms and their roles in research and development. And we are going to see what is the importance of research visibility and a certain key platforms like ORCID, Academia, Google Scholar, how they play a major role. Then we are going to see the comparative analysis of citation metrics because there are various metrics. So we are going to compare them and we are going to see about them. Then most of us are unaware of the H index values. So we are going to see what is meant by H index and how they play a major role in research. And last, we are going to see how users engage their academic platforms, how to evaluate it. So this is going to be the agenda of today's webinar. So what is this academic social media platforms? So academic social media platforms are actually a specialized online networks that facilitate scholarly communication, collaboration, and dissemination of research. So these platforms enable the researchers, academicians, and students to share their work and connect with peers, track citations, and stay updated with the latest developments in their fields. So unlike the general social media platforms, these academic social media platforms, they are much more research oriented and they help in enhancing our research work, their visibility, and they help us to contact us with the research community. So what are the opportunities these academic social media platforms are giving us? So networking opportunities. So it facilitates us to connect with other researchers who are doing the research in the same field, right? It also enhances the collaboration and it helps us to enhance us with mentorship or us to follow with some mentors. This academia social media platforms are actually real-time feedback. So we get a real-time feedback of our current research work or of our past or the ones which we are going to present in future. It also helps us to access various kinds of resources that are available, that are much more valuable, and we can get the research materials and the papers from these social media platforms. It also helps us to promote our research work and it helps us to make it much more visible. So what are the benefits of using social media for academic and research purposes? So the four main benefits is that increased visibility, enhanced collaboration, so improvement in communication, and the faster dissemination of knowledge. So what is the increased visibility? So what these platforms help us to do it? So there are many platforms that we are going to see in this upcoming session. So these platforms, with the help of these platforms, we can present our research work in this so that it makes our research work much more visible. So it helps us other researchers to collaborate with us, fostering, and it also helps us to enhance knowledge over interdisciplinaries, multidisciplinaries likewise. Also, these platforms provides us a space for the researchers to share the updates. It also helps us to discuss findings and also helps in meaningful discussions. We can use this social media to disseminate our findings quickly and effectively, reaching a larger audience. For example, right now, ResearchGate, I'll just be talking about that in the further slides. So ResearchGate plays a major role in finding papers. So instead of searching papers of the same kind, if we get used to the topics or the researchers who are involved in that kind of research, we can just search them in ResearchGate and we can just start getting the papers, what kind of papers we needed. ResearchGate aids in getting the papers that evolves a same kind of research work. So what is the importance of research visibility? So by making our research visible, we have a chances of getting a higher citation. So we can increase our citation metrics. So based on upon our citation, many databases like Springer, LCVA, Scopus, they just they invisibly they just judge us by our citation, not visibly, but invisibly they just judge us by our citation. By seeing our citations, they just judge that whether our paper is valid or not. So making our citations higher will make our future works also much more dignified and much more valuable. And also by having more citation metrics, it will enhance collaboration opportunities, because when our citation metrics gets higher, many collaboration opportunities we will be getting both internationally and national level. So this helps us to advance our career as an assistant professor or as a researcher or whatever it is that we are indulged in research work. So it will help us to advance our career. So these platforms, their roles and functionalities, they play a major role in making our research much more visible, and thus it will help us to increase our citation as well as the H index. So all these slides, we are just keep on talking about the collaborations and how we are able to find potential collaborants using these academic social media, right? So like what I said, like the media such as Scopus, Springer, where ResearchGate, as if like that, by joining in many faculty development programs, by joining in many workshops, by webinars, seminars, etc., this will also help us to get collaborations with the same research areas people who are indulged in. So by platforms like ResearchGate and Academia allows us to join groups based on a same research interest, right? So by attending many virtual conferences and workshops, we will be able to gain persons who are having same research interests. So what is the use of sharing research and findings on this social media? So by sharing the concise descriptions of our work, this will spark interest and we will get many more discussions based upon our area. So we may think about some findings, but we may be not able to develop it. So by sharing our research summaries or abstract in the social media, we will get many ideas based upon that. So somebody will be lacking to collaborate with us with this in this work, because they may have some ideas, but they may also don't know how to develop it alone. So we can collaborate with them and we can make it developed, and we can just bring a fruitful discussions. And by also sharing links to publications and preprints, it will make it others to access our work easily. And also by responding to the questions and comments that we are getting in these social media platforms, so this will help us to foster our learning much more fruitful. So this is what the same which I said. So by engaging with the academic community through social media, so what are the ways that we can do it? So we can join discussions and we can participate in various conversations, and we can share relevant news and articles, and we can also follow many influential researchers and institutions. So these kinds of collaborations will help us to engage in a much more fruitful and knowledgeable way. So what is the usage of trends across research fields? Because now in this current criteria, researchers are much involved in multidisciplinary and in interdisciplinary research, because rather than following a narrow path with same kind of research, following a multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research will make us our research much more fruitful. Because right now importance is much more growing in computer science and biology, because it is much more essential for this right world to make our research work much more fruitful. So by making our research work across the fields, it will make us reach much more wider audience. So what are the pros and cons of social media? So time management. So we have to balance social media along with the research activities. We have to enhance our research activity much more, rather than just posting on the same research activity on different social media. We have to keep on enhance our research work by getting the comments, by getting the collaborations, and by getting whatever knowledge from others. We have to keep on enhance our activities, and we have to post it at a current time. So time management is very essential for using academic social media. Also, privacy and confidentiality plays a major role. So we have to protect the sensitive research data, and we should also avoid sharing confidential information. And we should maintain a professional online presence and engage in respectful conversations. We should also avoid plagiarism. That is, we should properly cite the sources with that we are making use of it. We should properly cite it. If you didn't cite it, means that it obviously involves a plagiarism, and that is not a good researcher's work. Right. Now we are going to see the overview of the key platforms. So this is going to be the major topic of today's session. So before this, I just said you sorry. So how these academic platforms are helpful for the research work. So these are going to be the major platforms that we as researchers, as a growing researchers, we should know. So the five major platforms that plays a major role in enhancing our research work is going to be ORCID, Scopus, Google Scholar, Academia, and ResearchGate. So many of us will be well known of this, but right now I'm just going to share some important key points that we should know about these key platforms. So what is ORCID? So ORCID is actually, it is a unique researcher identifier platform. So it enables accurate attribution of scholarly work. So what the major role ORCID playing is that many of us researchers will be having a same name with the same initial. So we won't be able to search the research work of that researcher. So this ORCID will provide us a unique ID, and by this ID can be linked with our Scopus ID also. So by posting this ORCID ID in our research papers, the other scholars or other collaborators will be able to identify us and what kind of works we are doing, even though we are having same name with same institutions also, because in one institution many persons with the same name will be existing, right? So this ORCID ID is a unique ID given to each researcher, so that we will be able to share our research work in a unique way. So by posting this ORCID ID in our papers, it will make our papers to reach much more visible in this research field. Scopus is actually a wide database with more than 20 lakhs of papers. So by indexing our papers in this Scopus database will make our papers much more valuable, and it also gives us a much more cost and value for our paper. And Google Scholar is a platform. Sorry. So it serves as a broad academic content index, and it also helps academic visibility. So Google Scholar is actually not a much more standard platforms, because we ourselves having an option to upload our paper in Google Scholar. So by uploading our paper, the details of our paper in Google Scholar, we can make it research visible. But by depending upon the papers that is available on Google Scholar, we cannot tell that these papers are much more standard and the details in these papers are much more good, because Google Scholar gives us an option for us to upload the paper rather than Scopus or ORCID. Because in Scopus, we cannot upload our paper. If and only if Scopus judges that our paper is good, our paper is standard, it will upload it, right? So by indexing our papers in Scopus, gives us much more value rather than Google Scholar. And Academia, it's actually a networking platform for researchers. So in this platform, we can share papers, we can connect, and this will help us to collaborate with the academic community. So Academia and ResearchGate are somewhat similar to each other. In ResearchGate, we can share our preprints. So before publishing it in a journal, we can share our paper in ResearchGate. So by sharing our paper in ResearchGate, we will be able to get comments from others whether our work is right, whether we have done any mistakes in our work, or whether we can enhance our work. And we can also get collaborations. Many may see our work and they will be telling that, yes, your work is nice, I would like to collaborate further with this. Also, we can make that this is our work, so we can just record it before getting publishing. We can avoid from others copying our work, because our work will be already available in ResearchGate, and it will be shown in all the social media platforms. If you just type that ResearchGate number or just title, it will be shown in the social media platforms. So this will make our work safe, and it will help us to extend, and it will also help us to collaborate with others. So by using ResearchGate, Academia, and Google Scholars, we can make our research work much more visible, rather than sharing it in some conferences or FDPs or webinars. By making these use of these platforms, we can make our research work much more visible.